Hello and welcome everybody to week 4 of Winter League. This is our inaugural match of this week, and we have one heck of one ready for you. I am Aaron TU2, and with me on comms today is Beta Strep. Hello, sir.
Howdy! We have a vanilla-ish flag set today, so we have vanilla maps, vanilla shops, which is really important because Flamesword and Silver Shield are only available in Cantlin. And the next pair of flags are also really important, with random monster XP and gold and random stats consistent, which means you do not, under any circumstances, want to grind golems, and you definitely want to find goldmen.
Right. The enemies are a little different, but for the most part, we're not going to see any major changes except for what you said there, that golem. Goldmen usually giving somewhere between 70 and 100 experience, and metal slimes being pretty much useless.
Yeah, the consistent stat flag pairs up the experience ranges with where the monsters fall on the monster list in the game. So golems get a severe punishment because they're like somewhere around a knight or a wraith knight. But one thing to look for in this flag set is for the spike grind, stonemen are actually very valuable because they are the third highest placed monster in the game. So you'll probably see their experience inflated. And because we don't get heal more until level 17, they will be a very important source of experience once you get a dedicated grind going.
Absolutely. They aren't the only thing, but they are generally the best thing that you're going to find. Of course, you know, we say that, they could still have DL2 breath and sleep or something fun like that.
Yeah, there's always a possibility of dangerous abilities in this, but yeah, the one thing you don't want is like a regular old red dragon in all of your spike tiles for this flag set.
Right, that might be the one that is even hard to beat at level 17, but we are underway, starting herb and gold. Stats, I don't know if we've seen them on stream, but they are very, very good, so I don't think we're going to be locked into jail here at the beginning at all.
Yeah, although we do have a swamp start, and oh boy, so we have 30 HP to start off. We have plenty of attack power at 27, so they can actually walk out of that swamp. But swamp start is a little bit trolly.
Yeah, until level 3, you are leaving that zone with not too many hit points, but we'll see that really quickly. I think we've already seen level 2 on everybody's screen right off the bat. 27 strength has just been enough to kill everything at the beginning.
Yeah, and one extra thing to mention about the flag set is we have the very fast experience flag activated this week. So all of the experience requirements for leveling are 50% of vanilla, which means that the runners will have to get at least to 8,000 to hit level 17 because they have to gain heal more to win the game, essentially. And with vanilla spell learning, one other element of this week is you're probably never going to see a hurt more cast.
Yeah, at least one that we're going to cast. Hopefully we don't see too many from the enemies either, but you know how it tends to be. And it looks like OOG might be getting up to that town. I don't think anyone else has made it there, and he might just have enough resources. Could be interesting, could be Hawks's.
And it's Breckenary. And with the vanilla shops, you're going to see a pretty terrible shop here. You have copper sword, small shield, leather armor. That's the best you can get out of Breckenary. Although you can buy fairy water, which normally would be pretty important, but they have so much attack power it doesn't really matter in this seed, I don't think. At least not right now.
We say that, but OOG has swung over that direction. We still haven't really got what? Sorry, his text dialogue there is a little funny. He's using a patch that changes a lot of the text and things related to it beyond what the randomizer normally does. So we might see some unusual things over there, like an Eagles player calling him a loser.
Yes, there was discussion before the broadcast of who was going to track what, and now I understand why, because this is absolutely nuts trying to figure out what all this stuff is. Like, all I can go on is the gold values.
And looks like, was that the Northwest Cave there in the vanilla staff location winds up being South Swamp. So it'll be an interesting decision whether or not we jet over the island or head over to the rest of the continent first. Once you now know what there is there.
I think this is a very interesting decision to start diving caves this early. I mean, their stats are pretty good. Like, they're over 40 agility already, so they're over 50% to run from every single thing except for red dragons and armored knights. My personal preference is I don't like pushing exploration too aggressively until I learn sleep. And I don't like pushing cave exploration too aggressively until I learn radiant, because we have rotated dungeons also.
True, and that extra little bit should help. I thought maybe Angel was just going to the west to get a good zone to grind in, but it looks like he's just decided to push through the entire way. And we'll see. We might see if there's anything interesting over there. Holmes, however, made it through Swamp, is on the second island.
And the Swamp Cave was pretty dangerous, too, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of letting his momentum carry him at this point. But Angel finds some armored knights along the way. Could be a problem. It could be good. Armored knights are sometimes very valuable in this flag set.
Yes, but we can't really deal with them until... Well, since they're spamming Hurt more, I guess Stop Spell would be a useful thing to throw at them. But Holmes has found the grave, and it looks like it is flipped.
Nice. Well, as long as he's able to get there, that's the important part. And I don't think he went the way he meant to go, because that was... that wasn't anything interesting there. He doesn't have keys.
Yeah, he went down and the chests were up to the left, and wizards are in the grave, so these caves are definitely not free at this level. We're seeing multiple Sharlock enemies. This is exactly why I have a strong preference to grind a bit more before I start doing this sort of nonsense, especially with the rotated dungeon flag. It's just... Permatorch is great, but when you don't know which way your cave is oriented when you enter it, generally speaking, it's a pretty bad idea to try to go in.
It's true. And looks like Angel, we see a town and a cave, but he is, again, unable to figure out what it is. The only player we've seen who's really hitting that grind button is Ladab, who, despite being in that desert, is still actually in zone... No, actually, he's in zone 1. He's in the eastern zone. So he must have a pretty good beat on what these zones are.
People are commenting on my microphone. I'm still using the same microphone, guys. I just turned the gain up. Did that help at all?
They will have to answer that one, I suppose. But Mr. Holmes makes it to Rim. Was that in that second continent in the south? I didn't see if that's where he went to get to it. Or did he walk around that same area that Angel was at?
I was busy addressing my microphone, so I didn't see exactly where he is. Oh, that's Vanilla Tantagel, right next to a cave, which is Tablet, which is a properly oriented first floor tablet, which, even with rotated dungeon flag, there is a chance of that happening.
Yeah, Holmes is not enjoying this rotation at all. He's been going the wrong way repeatedly, and I think... Did he just do it again? No, he's on the right way this time, so... This is all of us will get maybe a little chuckle out of our players, and obviously we get to subject ourselves to this here in a little bit of just not knowing exactly the right way to go, especially when you don't have Radiant.
Yes, and with Vanilla Spells, Radiant will be coming at level 9. So thanks to the very fast experience flag, you only have to get to 650 to get to level 9, so it's not that bad, especially when you have these starting stats. So I'm really intrigued by the fact that the runners seem to be pretty aggressively pushing for exploration here. Yeah,
now we see Oogs making his first jaunt out, and does get away from that Star Wave for not heal. Okay, there we go. I believe Hydrate is heal. It'd actually be pretty easy on Oog's screen to know what spell is what because of the vanilla spell order.
But it looks like at 10 we get Stop Spell, which will be important for the Armored Knights. And Holmes has found Coal.
That's maybe the most useful thing you can find while you're doing this. Remolder and then Cole. The Death Necklace, which he could do a grind here for an awful lot of money if he wished to. And buy everything in Cole. I think we have Full Plate, and yeah, he knows it. Full Plate and Broadsword, if I recall right.
I don't think Broadsword is in Cole, but he can definitely get Full Plate and a small shield. For Broadsword, he'd have to go to Rimildar or Canton.
Okay, then it must just be the hand axe I was thinking of. And so Oog does make it to Rim, gets the keys. I think he thought about the chest, but didn't. And then, peeking here into Tablet as well.
And we have a question in chat. Miss Angel, what did he buy? I don't know. I was watching what Holmes was doing in Cole at that time, so couldn't tell you. And that's the real trolly aspect of this flag set with the speed hacks and fast hacks is it's really, really difficult to spot everything that people are picking up in the moment.
Right, and we have some vanilla things that kind of help us a little bit get a good feel for it, but I just kind of assume. Like, I did know Angel bought the small shield and a copper sword. I didn't see if he got armor or not, but he does get through Swamp as well, and now he is down here.
And Holmes just picked up a hand axe and Full Plate and small shield and Cole. So he's pretty well geared up now. I mean, I don't really know if it would be worthwhile to chase a Broadsword at this point. It's only 5 more attack power. It's not going to make that much of a difference.
Yeah, and Ladab has been the one who has really been that dedicated grinder so far, but Angel is still ahead of him in experience. Even though he took those deaths, he did manage to kill some good things and found a pretty good zone there for a while. Now he's back on the prowl a little bit, though. We'll see if he finds... I don't know. I remember on Holmes' screen, I think we saw Grave, and that was it. I think this was maybe a trading cave here in the Vanilla Rim spot. Well, Holmes did get sent back, but be the first into Tantaja with our keys, the first check down here in the basement, and it's Stone's Cave. So let's see, is this vanilla stones too? No, just some fairy water.
And we have Oog in Rimildar now, so he will soon get keys, or he already had keys actually, he just opened the door. But the gold chest in there, if he wanted to, he could do a slow grind and rapidly upgrade his equipment.
Yeah, I think the first time through he just didn't have a lot of money. Now we've seen Holmes has checked all the chests, and I think that was all just small fry stuff. Nothing, no gold and nothing that's really going to change anything.
Nothing of the game-breaking variety that he was probably hoping for when he entered the treasury. And now we have a grave check. Saw cursed belt and gold. I don't remember what the first chest was. It looked like it might have been a torch. The text really flew past quickly.
Yeah, even in a fast tech scene, Angel goes faster than most people. It looks like he's just decided to take a death warp. I was like, maybe he found a key, but he had done everything he was going to do over here anyway, so.
It's absolutely incredible to me that with all this exploration push that Angel is still at level 10. Like, he is just so good at finding grinds while pushing around the map and not getting stuck on any particular level for a long period of time.
Absolutely. Whatever that zone was, I believe it was the zone that Cole was in, or not Cole, but Vanilla Cole was in. I think he was in there for a while and fought some mid-tier stuff that really kind of helped to push him forward. Which again, in comparison to Ladab, who wasn't doing that. But Holmes, now with the keys, goes into Cantlin, and we see that coordinates. That is going to be very far south.
45 south of... So they started in Swamp South location. 45 south is like 3 full screens to the south. 51 west is like 3 full screens to the west. So that would be, oh man, is that near where like the vanilla token might be?
I don't think it's that far south, but it might be in that otherwise completely useless area north of Canton and west that there's no reason you should ever go there, which that could be fun.
Yeah, I don't rely on the map with the coordinates like some people are doing. I'm just going off of my mental memory of vanilla. It's like, this is in an area that you don't want to have to walk to. So I feel like the play here is to do all your other checks first and just hope that you don't have to go over there and do the coordinates.
Yeah, from what I can tell, and I am looking at a map, I actually have it as my desktop right now. It does look like it's over in the river area before where you get into the heavy mountain and desert pass. So it's a bit of a walk, but from the vanilla Hawksness location isn't going to be. It probably get to that quicker than you would get to Canton.
At this point, as a runner, I would just be hoping I wouldn't even have to go over there at all for vanilla Hawksness or any other reason.
Right. Well, I believe all of our players have keys now that Ladab has hit up in Rim, and Angel did get some a little bit ago. Just there. So no more having to worry about key access, and we didn't see anything back in Tantagel that was particularly interesting. So, as long as our players don't decide to just jump back there hoping for something, I don't think that difference is going to matter a whole lot.
Yeah, I think at this point it's just efficient grinding and efficient routing. Basically, with this flag set, it's a race to find Erdrick's sword more than anything else, to be honest.
That's correct, and we've actually seen the only key item we've seen at all, if you even want to go that far, is the Death Necklace, which I think, Holmes is the only one who's seen Cole yet, but he is, again, pushing on the exploration pretty hard. He is not in last, but pretty close to last in the experience, so as long as he's able to find something, pretty decent to fight here and doesn't have to run from a bunch of stuff along the way, it's not going to matter a lot, but 1,000 experience difference 15 minutes into a race can be pretty important.
Clearly, the gambit he is doing here is he is banking on finding critical items such as the sword and armor, and then he's going to do a very rapid grind as soon as he gets those things, or even one of those things.
So there we see Staff of Rain. I believe that leaves... what do we still have left? We have 2 checks. One of them is Garenham, correctly, with a mountain underneath. What would the other be?
Hawksness. Actual Hawksness, which might be in vanilla Hawksness, oddly enough.
Well, unfortunately for Holmes, he did not get the... He saw the Armored Knight and couldn't really do anything about that. So we'll see if he rushes all the way back or if he tries to set up a grind here. Or maybe even go back to that second continent and deep dive grave if he's feeling particularly bored.
Have we seen Vanilla Stone's Cave yet? Scarlet Shadow asks. Yes, it was underneath Tantagel, oddly enough. And Angel has now found Hole. So now Angel is higher up in levels. He has a stop spell. I think that if he sees an Armored Knight, I fully expect him to throw stop spell, and he might even try to chop it down with Hurt. I mean, he is going after the Stone Man, which is the correct play because sleep will work most of the time, although he's having some rough luck here.
Yeah, this makes sense. I'm a little surprised that he didn't try to get any sort of gold or do anything there in Cole, because I think he's still spouting original gear, but 189 experience for a Stone Man, it's going to feel pretty good. We're going to see him probably continue to swing on them.
Yeah, you actually will target Stone Man in this flag set. And I am a little bit surprised as well that he didn't do a rapid gold grind, although, again, Hand Axe is not worth that much more than a Copper Sword, although full plate armor would be somewhat beneficial at this point, with plus 14 over the chainmail.
Oh, he was shopping in Rim. Okay, we might have missed that because, again, fast text and all the stuff going on at once. Well, we'll see. He is clearing through the Staff of Rain Cave, and we will see if he is able to get to the next location, or if he also runs into something unfortunate.
I mean, I guess at 48 defense, like, the full plate would take him up to 62, so it's like, it's beneficial if you've been seeing a lot of things like Wolf Lords and Wyverns that are in the 50s, but I don't know if we've even seen a Wyvern yet, to be honest.
Yeah, the most interesting mid-game enemies I've seen are, OOG right there fighting the Spectre, Holmes fighting a Droll Magi, and I think Angel was in a zone with a Magi Wyvern not too long ago when he was doing his grinding.
And Angel has found Garenham in the Vanilla Hawksness spot, so that means Hawksness is in the Vanilla Cantland spot. So actually, people will be heading up there most likely. I think that was that the flute that I saw? And the stones. I think that's a flute and stones.
Yep, flute, herb, stone. So we got 2 key item checks right there. That just makes Hawksness even more required, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a very depressing thought that you have to go all the way over there. That's a very long walk. Even if you're dropping all the encounters with Repel, that's several minutes to walk from start over to Vanilla Cantland.
Yeah, and Angel chose not to cast Repel, and probably hurt him a little bit there. Mountain Cave is tricky, and it takes quite a few steps to realize which way you're going without that Repel spell, and he did go the wrong direction for a little ways. Meanwhile, I want to mention, Holmes actually found a pretty good grind down there. Was fighting a lot of mid-game enemies like Wraith Knights and stuff, and has grabbed a bunch of experience while he was down there.
And of course, by Repel, you meant Radiant.
Yeah, whatever. I guess
we let them though. I know we have to make fun of him for non-Repel use. He's known for that.
Yeah, well, it's the one spell, I guess. So. I missed the first mountain chest too. I know the second one was a key, and that's all I got. Wizard worth 119. That's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible.
The text flew by. I was deliberately looking to see what it was, and I couldn't see what the heck it was. But he did get a fighter's ring and wings in the second floor of Mountain Cave to go along with that key. So far the Mountain Cave is not particularly useful.
Well, the good news, at least for him, is that he knows Garenham's right out here, so he can outside swing through and get fully replenished, and then see if he wants to try to take on Hawksness or not. There's that key, so he has cleared this one, and he knows the coordinates. Maybe he'll try to do that. I am under the impression that Angel never uses maps, though, and always does this the most vanilla way you can, which I think you're pretty much on that train too, right, Veda?
Yep. Go with the mental image and then just count it out, just like normal. Do nothing differently.
He's trying to die again, right? Yeah, that's right. Angel has not been back to Tantagel since he had keys, so he's just about to be in for his disappointment. And as we mentioned before, Holmes is in Deep Grave. He did decide to go that way.
You see the Shield Wolf. That's the first time I've ever seen the Shield Wolf. Has anybody else ever seen that?
Oh, what I did just see was Holmes getting the token in the bottom of Grave. So Deep Grave is required. I don't think he's got any knowledge that's going to keep anyone from doing anything else, but that was wound up being a fairly smart play by Holmes, getting that taken care of, and now doesn't have to go back that direction.
That could also be a source of volatility because we did see Armored Knights in the grave, and having to do a full dive. Hey, Goog found a 49ers contract, which is the Death Necklace.
I'm not sure what that's supposed to be implying, but it sounds hilarious.
Must be a salary cap joke in there somewhere.
So just to kind of wrap up what everybody else is doing, Ladop has been doing a little bit more of a dedicated grind. Really hasn't been stretching out too far. He's right next to Cole fighting these Stonemen, which if he is able to continue doing this, he'll probably be in the Experience League before long. Although Angel himself is doing pretty well in that regard too. And it looks like he might be trying to go through and possibly deep dive Grave as well.
And it looks like Holmes has been doing the stutter step, so he might be doing a count already. Yeah, he's doing the 2-step process, so I think he's already committing to a count.
That is going to be one heck of a count, just because you're going to have to overstep west like 40 to 50 or something. Well, not 50. There isn't possibly 50, but you're going to be going way beyond back, so... I don't think we saw a spike check, but maybe to level 11, he's not feeling too comfortable about that.
Spike is a green dragon, and green dragons have hurt. So this is a very clear-cut damage race, easy damage race scenario where this is basically a free grind already.
Yeah, very good grind, easy grind, plus a fairly free princess. So Angel will be able to turn her in and will not have to do any sort of actual count, which I'm sure he'll be happy to know. But not choosing to stick on the grind there. I think he wants to check Deep Grave, which we know is very dangerous.
Well, he just ran into a red dragon on the overworld, so I feel like that would make me reconsider my process here. At 71 agility, it's like, yeah, you're about 40% to run from red dragons, but you are absolutely in dire straits if you run fail them, even coming into a fight with full HP. The lack of heal more makes everything dangerous right now when you see those high-end monsters.
Now, OOG has made it into Cole. I don't think he's been here before. Maybe he has. But I wouldn't be surprised. Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. He forgot the 49ers contract. I know now. See, it's confusing me with all these sports numbers and things.
How could you forget the 49ers contract? And Ladab has found Cole, and he has enough for half plate because he's been grinding all this time. He took a very conservative approach, which, I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, grinding to level 12, I mean, you have to do a grind to 17 in this flag set anyway, so it's not necessarily the worst thing to commit to a grind as long as you're efficient with it. Because now he has stats where finding all these places and all these items is a lot easier. He's at least somewhat survivable against those aforementioned red dragons and that sort of thing. But I don't see any issue with grinding to 12 in this flag set. I mean, I personally would prefer to grind to at least level 9 pretty much all the time.
Yeah, the real difference right now between Ladab and Angel, when you look at their experience values, is just that Angel found a better thing to grind on at the beginning. Ladab was in zone 2 for a really long time, and Angel was kind of spreading out and found something really good nearby, and was just gaining like an extra 40-50 experience per fight.
Yeah, the consistent stat flag, it really incentivizes you to try to find those mid-game monsters that roll up in experience, because they're so much more valuable than anything you're going to see in Zone 0 through 2.
Yeah, and we do know, again, Ladab will eventually have to go through to Swamp to get to the Grave, to get the token. So the fact that, Angel's down here and Holmes has done that is still an advantage, but otherwise, if he doesn't require the princess for these coordinates, if he's able to triangulate with a map and figure it out on his own, it's hard to say that he's even really behind at this point. It's really just the Grave, and that's only if Angel makes it through here, who is running out of magic.
I have grave concerns about Angel's foray into this particular cave.
And down to 9 MP, so I don't know if he's just going to say, okay, I get it or I don't, because I don't think he has wings or anything. Or maybe he does. Yeah, he has to. He wouldn't go that low, I think, if he didn't. He makes it to the final spot, gets the token, and let's see him immediately get out of here. So that was a heck of a gamble on Angel's side, but it paid off. He managed to get through with the princess and still took down quite a few good enemies along the way.
That's just Angel doing Angel things. Doing the aggressive play pays off for him. He's through the most important dive of the game, short of Charlotte.
Absolutely. And what does that mean that the Hawksness and the overworld coordinates, the options for those, we don't know for sure that Hawksness has something unless somebody's been counting the belts. I haven't. But we are missing Harp, and we are missing Sword and Armor. And with all of our knowledge, the only places left to find anything are the overworld search spot and Hawksness. So Sword or Armor is going to be in Charlock.
Hopefully both.
Yeah, it's a heck of a walk too. We do not have any towns on the second continent, so you'll have to go. And the cave doesn't go through a town either. So you have Breckenary, and then you walk through Swamp all the way to Charlock.
It's always rough when there is no pit stop.
But if you're going to do a preemptive dive for this stuff, which I would not be surprised at all to see. I don't know. I guess red dragons are still scary without heal more, but the stats are pretty good otherwise. I would feel okay trying to dive as long as I wasn't worried about the red dragons.
And it looks like Ladab and Holmes both picked up a large shield at roughly the same time in different towns, and Holmes is now in Garanam.
So he'll get his stones and flute. Well, he might not get the flute. We'll see if he picks it up or not, and get that stuff. And as far as that goes, is basically in the same tier. Yeah, he decides to pick it up, even though you don't want to fight golems. It's still not a bad idea to have that flute just in case you have to fight one.
You definitely want that insurance in case it's a spike enemy, and if it's the Hawksness spike enemy and it's sitting on top of Armor or Sword, then it becomes even more important to have the flute. No, look! Here's our friend the Golem right after you pick up the flute. Perfect.
Yeah, Golem with sleep. So speed hacks, maybe people will use that. Well, I say people, maybe Holmes will use that flute even if he sees him in Charlock, just to make sure.
Yeah, the nice upside of speed hacks is it drastically accelerates the flute play. So it's like, I think it's like a second to play it in speed hacks versus the 8 normally.
And Angel is on his way. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gwaelin's love come out here in just a little bit to really make sure he knows where he's going. This coordinate location, yeah, the way he's walking around, he's not exactly sure where it is right now. So this could take up some time because the location is a little bit bizarre, but I think he'll know to go on the north side of that giant Cantlin enclosure instead of going directly to Cantlin and what we know as Hawksness.
Yeah, from where he took his coordinate check, he has to be 1 screen east and about 1 screen south.
And, shoot. So, Holmes takes down a Golem for 90. GG. That's got to feel a little bit disappointing.
Might have been worth it for the spite. Never underestimate the satisfaction of killing a thing that annoys you in this game.
That's a good point. And no, let's see. Angel is going the wrong direction, I think. So we might see the Hawksness check before that search spot. Yeah, because I think he has to go the top way. I might be wrong. I'm using maps and fancy math in my head. But I think with just me and the other players in chat seem to think it's on the wrong side. So we'll see. He might have to do a little extra walking. And, as long as whatever's here in Hawksness isn't too mean, it shouldn't be a big deal. Yeah, the loop around is absolutely massive, and you'd have to take that bridge, and there's no reason to do that and not just walk back, honestly. And Holmes doesn't go back, so he's going to stick around here. And, well, we'll see in a moment here what what Hawksness has for us. As Ladab starts to go south and Oog both finally getting through here kind of the first time. But Angel healing up, and what do we got? Got Mr. 180 himself, the Blue Dragon, who is pretty much not a problem. Gets through it, heals up, and has the armor, which means we know Harp is on the search spot.
The old vanilla armoire underneath a Blue Dragon and Hawksness. And the 198 XP is really nice for a blue, but Angel's gonna do a Gwaylin check shortly, I imagine. He's about to be disappointed.
True. I mean, you're not going to grind on that Blue Dragon seriously because it takes way too long to get to. But what was our other spike again? It was a Green Dragon. Yeah, I think you would go to that Green Dragon over that blue any day.
It's a Green Dragon, and more importantly, it's a Green Dragon with hurt.
Yeah, it's not going to put up much of a fight, but we'll see. Holmes is going the south part away. He's going directly to Hawksness too, so he doesn't have a beat on the Harp. We'll see if Ladab and Oog decide to go that. I do know that Ladab is familiar with how you can kind of triangulate the coordinates and go that way because he's mentioned it in my chat, but I have no idea about Oog. So we'll see if anyone decides to go at it the, what somebody might call the cheating way, although it's not technically cheating.
No, the static maps and that sort of thing are definitely allowed. Angel did not do a coordinates check, by the way, when he was up there. I think he knows. He might have just been scoping out the zone near Hawksness to see if there was anything really easy to take down, but there's only, like, rogue scorpions, I think.
True. I don't really have a good beat on what feels like a great grind anyway, but, he's got plenty of resources, and he's entering this area, and we'll probably see a check here in just a moment, and then it's just a matter of where do you go to grind? Does he decide to dive Sharlock early? With the armor just for the sword? Maybe you don't even worry about it.
Looking at the stats, I would say just get your grind out of the way. I mean, strength is already at 89, so it's entirely possible with the Death Necklace. I mean, it's maybe a bit outlandish, but like even if he gets a broadsword or something, it's probably a little bit of a stretch to win with broadsword plus the Death Necklace. But if he gets another chunk gain on strength, that would become a possibility, and he wouldn't even have to look for the sword.
And so, somewhat bad news. It looks like Holmes is back in Tantagel. Did he get the harp, or did he get the armor? Did he get taken out by that Blue Dragon? I thought he was right over there.
That would be died to a blue.
Oh, that is absolutely crippling because just the distance to go back is so massive. And I mean, Angel here has the harp. We know the harp trading cape is pretty close, so he's not too far away. But maybe he's found a good enemy, 155 Axe Knight, that you can punch down right next to a town in a desert. That doesn't feel bad.
Okay, according to chat, it looks like this makes more sense. So he at least got the armor from Hawksness. So there's that, but there's still the fact that you have to go back over there. Of course, now he has the princess, so it'll be a faster thing, but still, from the start, that's like something like a 4 to 5 minute walk, I would estimate.
Right. The fact that Angel, bailed out when he didn't even bother with the last check, worked out because, he knew it was going to be Hawksness, and he might as well just have another level worth of experience or whatever by the time he goes there. Go get the princess when he did. That made sense. But no, he's done. He's got everything except for the drop. We'll see if he goes north here. Yeah, I think he's going to take that Green Dragon on for a while because it's a pretty good grind. Maybe hop into Breckenary for a minute, heal up, and then go get the token on the other side. But I guess there's no rush to do that. You can just do that right before the end.
Yeah, and Angel is basically in grind and go now. He's gotten his trade-in done. I wonder if he has a shot at getting Flamesword money before he hits 17. It might be a little bit out of reach. but it's fairly close.
And on the note about that coordinate location, Ladab is right there, and looks like his math was a little bit wrong. He's probably doing a map check here, but I would not be surprised to see if he gets that here, because he's only a few steps away, and Ook is heading that way as well. Does not have the princess, so he must have also somewhat triangulated here, and yet Ladab gets his harp. You know what? I understand not wanting to do this, but just think about the time that Ladab and Ook have saved by not worrying about that princess in this one.
Very nicely done. I'm still not going to do it because I'm just a purist that way. When I'm looking at vanilla game type mechanics, I'm not going to use any aids ever. I mean, the only time I'll use a map is for stair shuffle and random chest locations, but that's not a vanilla mechanic, so I'm totally fine with it for that. But for this, I'm always going to be a purist. And yeah, there's comments in chat. It's with Broadsword and Death Necklace, Angel could almost win now. And I'm like, yeah, if he gets another little chunk gain on strength, he could definitely win with that combination. Probably needs more MP though.
Yeah, and Cantland is not too far away. We know there's a broadsword there. The rim is basically the same distance, so he could go that way if he wants to. I imagine, I don't know, by the time you do that, it might always just be better to hope, you find it in Sharlock rather than go that whole distance. It's not like he needs the sword for this grind or anything.
Right, and what would be truly amusing is if it took him pretty close with the hand axe. There would be an argument to be made for just getting 18 on the Green Dragon and winning with the hand axe and Death Necklace at that point. Because the leveling with this flag set is so quick. You only need 1500 experience to go from 17 to 18, and this fight is free.
Yeah, that's probably 13, 14 green dragons, so you're looking at maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, the way this is going.
Yeah, when you're looking at your time budget, a minute and a half of grinding versus, let's say the sword rolls into the judge's table, for example. That's easily a minute and a half if you don't route there directly on your way down.
And we see Oog over there as well. What I heard from Chad is that he did not get the armor there, the harp on the search spot. Which, if that's the case, if that didn't work out, yeah, he's going for his princess, which is not exactly a princess, but I don't know. Depends how Randall Cunningham likes to present himself, I suppose.
So look at the stats at level 17 for Angel. He has 167 HP. So he would be in doubles range even after putting on the Death Necklace, and he'd be at 127 attack power, which is 6 to 13. So that's 18 swings, but he can buy Fairy Water. So this is pretty close with the hand axe.
And he's not worrying about Fairy Water. I think this is definitely a sword check. That's where I'm putting my money. Just because that MP is not super good. He's not bothering with the Fairy Water. I think that's what we're gonna see.
See, now if that was me for the memes, I feel like I would have grinded 18 and gone after the Dragon Lord with the hand axe. Just because.
It's fun. It's good. It's good to do. If you win, then it's good, right?
It's a minute and a half to do the grind, and 18, you're probably not going to get huge stat gains at 18, but every little bit helps, and you could easily get a heal more or two out of the level. So it's it would make the dive safer, it would make everything safer, and it would also be ridiculous, which is the whole point.
Right. If you don't have the memes, then what do you have?
If you don't have the memes, you don't have the means. That's what I say.
On that note, it looks like Holmes is walking back to do his turn in. Ladab just has warped back. Those two are in a very interesting race right now because both both are. Ladab has just a little bit of advantage in the map. Holmes has a little bit of advantage in experience. We'll see if they end up playing the. Oh, you know what? I'm saying all that, and I forgot. Ladab doesn't have Deep Grave, doesn't have Token, so he's actually not quite as close as it seems at all.
Yeah, the Grave Dive on its own is probably a couple minutes once he gets to it and does it. And Angel is making the push into Sharlock at level 17, which, assuming he gets the sword out of here, this is basically GG's. But you never know. We could have a wall of red dragons in here.
Yeah, there's still a lot to go. And again, the MP isn't super high. He'll be fine with the sword, but that'll be, 142 without the Death Necklace. That'd feel pretty good. But yeah, we'll see. He doesn't have as much leeway as it seems.
Yeah, 10 heal mores is a bit tight, but again, he's got a ton of attack power once he gets the sword. If he puts on the Death Necklace, he could roll 26s on the Dragon Lord.
And I hope he does. The Dragon Lord deserves it.
I mean, who doesn't want an 8-swing Dragon Lord fight?
Well, he's going so far so good. Again, that Golem could be scary. It has sleep, and it doesn't really need to have the Wombo when its fist can do 40 on its own.
And Slimy in chat, yes, the Golems do have sleep, so they are a bit problematic, and could totally see the argument for using the Fairy Flute on them with this play set, speeding up that play.
Now, I don't think Angel has seen the sleep, so I don't think he's going to do it. I think it would take a lot. He is, however, going to Vanilla Sword Look. Well, nope, that was an accident. So now we all hope that that's actually where the sword is, since he started to go that way and noped back.
We need to ask him if he's anti-Radiant. Because, like, he has extra MP here. He can cast Radiant without any detrimental impact to his heal more count. And, oh, by the way, Star Wyverns have sleep.
Well, he made it to the basement and finds the red dragon, who is hurt more, but gets away. Nice, quick, easy run, no problem.
And Slimu, the way I always remembered that was down for sword, left for lord.
We're staring there. Gold. Oh, there you did get the sword. Okay. So, yeah, it's in still pretty good condition. Needs to get there with the red dragon in the zone, but could probably lose a heal more or two and still be somewhat safe to win this. If the Star Wyvern lets him go, a couple of run fails, a couple of sleeps, but no, he's fine.
I love the use of the herb to get back to 145 HP there.
Might have been a reflex. You get hit enough times by an enemy, you just feel like you have to heal.
I think for funsies, Slamu, I would just push through the swipe tile, put on the Death Necklace immediately before the Dragon Lord fight, and just annihilate him.
I like it. Both of them need to feel the pain. Not just his second form, but his first form too. It's too bad you can't hit him so hard that he just dies in the second form before he even spawns.
Yeah, overflow damage into the second phase. I like that idea.
Nice. Got a Star Wyvern sleep job right next to the Dragon Lord. And he's going full herbs up, and he's going to use that Death Necklace in this fight. So here we go. Attempt number 1, and probably the only one for Angel.
He might skip Death Necklace and just go for doubles.
Yeah, the necklace doesn't really add a whole lot, but he does lose that first attack. If he rolls low, that could matter.
Well, he opened with a 20, so I think it's okay. And with the max HP being what it is, he's going to get at least a couple doubles here, I would think.
Right now he is at 69, and that is well below average. All right, and then a 19 and 20, that puts him at 120. Now he's suddenly good. And at 149, this is 2 swings at this point, regardless of what happens. And there we go. 166 full clears the damage in 1 swing. And using the return home, GG's to Angel FM. Going to be our victor in this race.
Very well run race by him. He basically right-ordered everything, which is all you can ask for. And Holmes is on his way to Charlotte right now. And he's going at 16, looking to hit 17 either right before he hits Charlotte or right after he enters it.
Yeah, I think he realized that he had lost some time with some of the routing and stuff and needed to press. And it'll work out because he's not going to gain enough MP to hurt anything here, just as long as he has no issues going down and gets that sword. Again, we only saw, I think, a couple of armor knights who were mostly harmless and 1 red dragon, so it probably isn't a very high spawn.
You just never know with encounter luck.
True, it's kind of risky to just assume that right off the bat. But and we see our other players while he's doing that. Ook is at level 14. Ladab at level 17. Looks like neither of them have got the token yet. So, and Oog is actually going back to Hawksness where he did not get the armor before. And yeah, it's going to be absolutely critical here to see if he's able to get back into this. But right now, it kind of looks like our positions are somewhat solid in this race.
And joining us in the booth is our race winner, Angel FM. GG's. Your thoughts?
I think that those last 10 steps of Charlotte try to cost me whatever possible.
I have just one question for you, Angel. What do you have against Radiant?
I mean, we got Permanent Torch. What do I need Radiant for? It's not like the chest are shuffled or anything.
Well, you know, rotated dungeons. I saw you struggling in there, bonking around, and you almost went to the vanilla sword chest.
Oh no! Once I heard the music change, it just didn't completely hit me right then. But yeah, I always listen for the music change at that point if I know where I am.
Echolocation, that's a new one.
All right. Well, we'll let you use that. We're not gonna, tell you that the stairs are actually up and down. Give you any extra advice. You don't need it. But GG, sir. That was just a very well-run race. Super solid throughout, and it didn't look like you were really relinquishing that lead from the start. And whatever that grind was you did after that first walk over to Rim seemed to really pay off.
Yeah. When I kept getting stopped by everything, I just decided just to take a few levels. I mean, I found that good zone with the Wolf Lords and the Spectres and whatnot, and just stayed there. And then just the strength, didn't let up, so I could take pretty much anything.
Did you ever give any consideration to doing something super memey and taking level 18 on the Green Dragon, since it would only take an extra minute or so, and winning with a hand axe and death necklace?
I thought about doing the broadsword and win, but I was only gonna do that if the sword was in vanilla at that point.
Yeah, there's a point in this game where I see these stats and I know how fast this grind is in this flag set, where I'm just this kind of reminds me of the Chaos flag set. It's there's a strong argument to be made of just taking a rapid extra level and trying to win without even bothering going for the sword, no matter where it is.
Yeah, but I mean, even when I got the sword, like, I mean, I still swung pretty much as I was doing with the broadsword in the Dragon Lord fights, so it didn't really matter.
I was really proud of those 12s you were rolling.
Oh, I was proud of the Dragon Lord back attacking me in both forms.
Hey, somebody has to take my role in every race.
And so while we're doing this, Holmes has made it to Dragon Lord 2. Looks like I don't think he lost any resources along the way, too. So definitely in the pole position in this fight, especially with an opening triple. And rolls that aren't a bunch of 10, 11, and 12s.
There was a point in the Angel DL2 fight where I was wondering if he's going to get any doubles at all, which is hilarious given what his HP is.
Yeah, considering Holmes got through with still 4 heal mores, yeah. Such a huge change.
Yeah, we were counting it, and I think you were 20 on the first hit, and then was it 4 hits later made it to 69? So you were averaging like 12.
Everybody get your GGs out for Holmes. He has finished in second place with an official time of 54:13.
Yeah, likewise, just a really strong race from Holmes. I think the majority of our gap here was that end routing where, Angel, you went to Mountain and decided to Death Warp out of that. Holmes had already been back to Tantagel at some point and then pushed through, but like you, needed that the princess to figure out the coordinates, and just that huge amount of time having to go back really kind of set him back in the progress, I think, at least compared to what you were doing.
Yeah, I felt like where the coordinates probably were, I was better off just taking the death and just going for the princess at that point. Especially considering I think Mountain was a complete bust, and there wasn't really much in Tantagel either.
Yeah, we had, I think, was it Garenham, Cole were useful, and then we had the Overworld Search Spot and Hawksness, and and then the Deep Grave, which is always wonderful.
I don't know why anybody would complain about the Tantagel treasury. Come on, it's a great treasury.
It was a funny treasury. And the guy in the basement, who we just assumed Lorik locked him up because he stole, like, what was that, an herb or a torch?
Whatever it was garbage.
So I do not believe Holmes is going to be joining us on comms. Looks like he is wishing us all the best, but doesn't have anything in particular to say.
The randomizer speaks for itself.
Well, OOG did pick up the token, warped all the way back. Might have wanted to actually stop in there and do that trade-in first, but it don't matter. He can always do that on the way there. It's not much of not more than a second time.
And Ladab is doing his dive at level 18.
And he is going for the Vanilla Sword location, whether he realizes it or not. At least, no, never mind. That's Zone 2. I'm blind. I do like how Lemon the wizards look, though. He has a little bit of a yellow tint to his stream, and those wizards are very fun.
He could just push to the Dragon Lord and fight like this. He doesn't technically need the sword.
True, he does have the broadsword, which chat has mentioned repeatedly would have made a massive difference for Angel in this race. It was almost a borderline fascination for a minute about you getting that broadsword, Angel, which you did not do. I think people were very disappointed.
No, I thought I picked up the broadsword out of Rimbledar.
Or maybe you did and we just didn't notice it too. That could be a thing. You probably know what you did better than we did.
Well, look, some trackers have a blind spot for shield purchases, and others have a blind spot for broadsword purchases.
And you got me who just has a blind spot for everything.
And yet you still win.
And so with this Victory Angel, you'll actually be at 16 points. You may, I'd say it's more likely than not you're going to end up being in Group 1 next week, although that might come down to a Buchholz tiebreaker, so we'll have to see. Although I think your strength of schedule is pretty rough, so more than likely than not. How are you feeling about that? Were you in that last year, or did you end up in the second group? I can't remember.
I don't remember at this point. But yeah, now I can just throw this advanced standard week and not have to worry.
You're not looking forward to the heal before more stats?
No, I'm just not looking forward to playing for 2.5 hours, that's all.
That's okay. We added speed hacks. It will not go that long, probably, hopefully.
My goal is to get into the same group just so I can get a rematch of week 1 and get revenge for finishing third.
I support this. I want to see the revenge.
And then Beavis can beat us both again.
Well, he's not technically guaranteed to be in that group. It's possible. If he loses and a bunch of other people win, might not. We'll see. I mean, it's more likely than not, but...
Well, if I get second and he gets fourth, then we're all at 16. Then it's a question of what other people do, but I feel like if we're all clustered at 16, we'd probably be in the same group. And everybody get your GGs out for Ladop, who has finished third with an hour of 1 hour and 20 seconds.
It says, Schmeich said, GG to Zhang Wei. Very calm and, solid ending there. And I think the overall story here for Ladab was just, he was grinding very heavy early on and was not grinding on the right enemies, unfortunately. Like, it wasn't that he wasn't getting experience, he just wasn't getting them as fast as like you were, Angel, where you were keeping track, or you were keeping up with him despite progressing, where he was just a little bit in the lower levels too long when there were better enemies to get. But didn't die a whole lot and had a pretty good rush there at the end to bring in the third place here.
And he also did a perfect coordinate search using the map.
Yeah, he definitely took a little bit of time when he first found the coordinates, and then after he got it, didn't get it right away. But he was the only person, who did not rely on the princess. So that definitely helped, even though it did take up a bit of time to do it. That was still better than having to go all the way back, I think.
And joining us in the booth, we have Ladab. GG, sir. Thoughts on the seed?
Ladab, can you hear us? He might be stuck. We still can't quite hear him, and there might be some mic issues. But if you do able to get through Ladab, just let us know. Don't feel afraid to interrupt us.
Yeah, feel free to jump in and commentate if you like.
On that note, OOG has picked up the rainbow drop and is now proceeding to march toward the end on his own. Situation is slightly different. He is at 17, but he is on a different build, and it's not a strength build. So even with I think the death necklace and the sword are still going to be enough to make this a win, but the situation might feel a little bit different by the time we get there.
I've sort of put him at 135, which with this HP, that is plenty. And Death Necklace would bump him up to 145. So this is a case where even a non-strength build is just fine, since 93 strength at level 17 and non-strength build is pretty silly.
Hey, Ladab. Sorry, we can't seem to get you in. Is there some issue with Discord or? Well, anyway, we'll see. It might be push to talk. We've actually changed something that has. We had a whole lot of like automatic push to talk exceptions that were causing a lot of issues with the mic, so they've been reset. So if that's not working for you, let us know. We might be able to fix it. I wonder if OOG actually still has a small shield. I don't think it would matter with the agility build. He's probably more making up for that with that particular thing, to where he's still not going to have to worry too much about the damage that's being done. But he is swinging on the way down, taking out this Axe Knight, probably hoping to get one more level and get a little bit more strength or hit points for this fight.
Yeah, level 18 is not that far away. I mean, he's like a little over 500 away. Like the 50% experience requirement makes it really easy to grab extra levels on your dive if you want them.
Oh yeah, we haven't heard a thing that you've said, Ladab. Sorry, it's not coming through on our end. There, OOG taking out another Axe Knight. He is very close to the next level.
Testing now. Let me see.
We hear you now, Ladab. GG's. Your thoughts on the seed?
Finally. Hi there, everybody. GG's to you too. So I'm wondering if I was too careful during the seed.
I don't think either Beta or I really disagreed with what you were doing. It was just that the others found better grinds. And that was the thing. Like, there was a zone nearby where you were at the beginning that had a Wolf Lords and some other mid-game enemies that I think Angel was fighting the same time as you and was just racking up tons of experience.
So that was where it was. I don't know. I had a very good feeling, actually. I had an impression things were going smooth, very few deaths. And the coordinates were pretty easy to find once one learns how to use this map stuff, which is pretty cool. Loved it, like I saw when in the Discord and people. Learn to use that map, it helps.
You were the only player who did that and got it to work. I think OOG wasn't quite lined up with it and wasn't able to get it. And both Angel and Holmes took the long walk back, although at least in Angel's situation, it kind of worked out because he hadn't actually been back to Tantagel when he did that.
Okay, so that means, on the other hand, that my grind was particularly inefficient. I noticed it now. Because if people went to take the princess and bring her back and return, and meanwhile I was already there bringing it without the princess. Okay. There's so much to learn. That's why this game is so awesome. You can always dig deeper, you know?
True. And I think a lot of what this was too, in some aspects, was just that the overworld wasn't super dangerous. There were some rough enemies, but there was a whole lot of stuff you could fight along the way, and that kind of nullified the pretty good grind that you had going at the start.
Yeah, this was something that I was like, I really wanted to be careful this time, because I know myself, right? Last winter league that we had, that was my hard lesson. Take your time to grind. Don't go exploring right away. Sometimes it pays off, mostly it doesn't. But that would be one seed where it would pay off to just like go and get the XP as you do it.
Right. Well, it's also hard when you're in a race like this too, because not to butter up Angel any more than we normally do, just by how he plays. But you were going up, you and Oog are going up against the two winningest DWR players that we have in these tournaments. So it's, even if you feel like you have a good strategy, you never know when one of them is going to find something crazy and just hit the gas. Well, while we're doing this, Ook is now on his second dive. I believe he tried to swing through a red dragon earlier and got sent home. But now he has level 18 and doesn't have much reason to fight any of these things. And I think we're just going to see him run from everything. The agility boost right now would be particularly useful in getting away from these things.
Yeah, I think the issue that Oog had on his first dive was he multi-run failed a Stone Man, and he didn't heal up before he started moving again, and then he got the Red Dragon, and then he just tried to run with something like 20 HP, and that does not work out too well, no matter what your agility is.
Yeah, the nature of the agility run formula, despite all of the game not respecting its own numbers and stuff like that, it's just the fact that you never are a very significant advantage to run from a red dragon, no matter what your agility is.
That was one of the decisions that I noticed that I was going to change. I usually play with the agility seed out of costume. But for this one, I noticed that here we need to be sure we don't die. And so I was like, okay, let's change to HP and see how it goes. Like compared to how one plays the Chaos Seed, right? This is the charm of this Winter League, I think. That this changing of rules from week to week, this is really awesome. It makes it so much fun to play because you are looking forward to, okay, what's gonna change? How do I need to change my strategies and train again or learn to use differently?
Yeah, and we have the same flags for the most part we did last year. We got a couple of new ones, but they aren't really game changers in any real way, the beta flags. But for the most part here, it's just understanding what the flags mean from week to week. Because some of the changes don't really matter a whole lot, like the random standard experience. Once you play it once or twice, you kind of get a feel for what that's going to look like. But just being able to do that stuff, knowing what it means and how it kind of changes things is pretty important.
This was me now, huh? It had to be the very last chest that he searched for.
Well, he could have went to a Vanilla Sword location, didn't do that, so at least we didn't get that fun. Pretty much anytime something important is down there, it's hard to not roll the eyes a little bit.
My important takeaway from that is that Erdrick's sword with his special text is Montana's arms.
Yeah, which in Tecmo Super Bowl is pretty good. I don't know. I would, as a Dolphins fan, I think I would want to see Dan Marino on there, but, it's okay.
So now's the time for heroes, huh?
Yeah, and our player here getting locked into the 49ers contract and getting that penalty, and unfortunately taking a few long bombs from the Dragon Lord. But here we go, start of this DL2 fight, which again I would say is a very heavy advantage going in.
I would say it's basically free, but you never know, you might get a string of minimums.
True, we did have that fun segment in the Angels Dive where he ended up with about 49 points and 4 swings when he was doing 10 to 21. We have a petition in chat, Ladab, that we get to have you on comms for a future daytime race. What do you think about that?
I think I can do that. We can see to a day in the next week, perhaps.
All right, I think we're all looking forward to it. On that note, OOG does take out the Dragon Lord. Pretty straightforward fight. And we'll be turning in his victory here in just one moment. And there it is. The season's over until the NFL draft begins. Wonderful. Final time of 1:13:46. Looks like OOG has declined the interview. So GG's out in the chat for him. And yeah, just a fairly solid play, but there a little bit at the end just kind of knocked him sideways a bit and just wasn't able to finish out on the pace that our other runners were on.
And dying in Deep Charlock is always a massive time loss.
Right. Vanilla Charlock is never easy to get to. Like, maybe if you get your starting location on the second continent, but it's always got to be a pain. So, Ladab, with this third place finish, that puts you at 11 points. That's going to set you up next week for a race where you're going to have to finish pretty good to get a chance here in the playoffs. Have you looked over the flag set for week 5? Do you have any feelings about it?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Or no?
Yes, I gotcha.
Okay, yeah, I checked them out and it was like, okay, like random chests with the map scrambling. That's gonna be a bit of a headache. But yeah, let's do this. So I'm looking forward to that, like handling this. I'm missing the random XP stuff, like the really random one from Chaos, because I think this makes for a very dynamic game. And we are going to have sort of a similar setup to this one today. So in that sense, it's more like craziness in the map, but not so crazy on the grind.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's every week is hopefully a bit of a different experience, and then the real craziness kicks up in the playoffs, week 6, with the random percent. Should you or any of us make it, is going to be you have no idea really what you're getting into until it's time to start.
Awesome. By the way, like, I probably need to get a first place next week, right? Given the numbers now that we have currently.
It's not guaranteed, but I think it's unlikely that 14 is going to be at least a guaranteed. It's possible there could be a play-in race at that point, but I'd say right now we're kind of thinking it's going to be 15, just wherever 16th place finishes out on the list.
Oh, why do I have 13 points? I thought I was going to have 11.
You do have 11. I don't know if somebody messed it up or not.
Ah, all right. Okay, so yeah. So I must get that first place there. Woo. All right. Looking forward to it. Who knows?
All right. Well, good luck to you next week in that race. And I think we're getting ready to tie this one off and send it over to somebody else. Do you have any final thoughts, Beta Strap?
Just a well-run race. I look forward to seeing at least one group this week start in Vanilla Cantlin, and we do have a race coming up tonight at 9:45 Eastern involving Cyberdark, Mr. Slime, DK9146, and Gelf35, and that will be on RPG Limit Break.
Yes, good to know. That's going to be another good one as well, and yeah, just a very good race and something to look forward to the rest of the week. We have, 13 potential starting locations and 10 seeds. So maybe we'll hit, just about all of them by the time we're done. But yes, on behalf of our restreamer Archfield Monk, my co-commentator Beta Strep, and our trackers Beef Supreme TV and RG365, I've been Aaron to you too. We're going to send this one over to Lack Attack, who's doing some Big 20 practice. Thank you all for being here. Hope to see you tonight. And until then, take care.